So, Pauline, do you know, just now I was watching a video on Bob Proctor, and he said that many people, they want to become a millionaire, but they think the way to become a millionaire is to earn more money. And he said that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to become a millionaire, you have to plan to become a millionaire.
I would say that Bob Proctor is a very wise man, and he is right. What you set your mind to it, you can achieve it, right? So, yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to the third episode at Smart Women Finance. Together with me is Pauline Teo and myself, Rocking Rachel. We are actually the go-to girls here at Smart Women Finance, where we help women empower themselves through financial awareness. We are dedicated, me and Pauline are actually dedicated to helping all women from all walks of life, including young adults, those who are dedicated to their careers, maybe to their families as a parent or even as a spouse. And if you are actually approaching retirement, feel free to join in this podcast, because we discuss daily issues that women face in regards to their finances. And we hope to make Malaysia, the women in Malaysia, much more financially independent, actually.
Yeah. And being savvy, right, in finance matters. So
yes. So today in our episode, we are discussing on the topic about, is money important for you? So you can think about it, but hopefully if it's good, if it's yes, good. If it's no at the moment, hopefully this podcast could give you more insights as to why money is actually an important factor in everybody's lives.
We would like to inform you that whatever discussed in this topic and in this podcast is completely general advice or based on our own personal experience and opinions. If you are facing any financial issues, we do recommend that you seek consultation with a licensed financial planner. Thank you.
So, moving on with the topic today, is money important to you? So just now, Paul and I were actually giving a bit of a tribute to Bob Proctor, who has recently passed on to the next life, last month actually. Yeah. So we thank him for all the nourishment that he's given us throughout his life, especially in this area of wealth, our mindset, right?
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today, Pauline?
So I think it's actually more on, the money mindset that we all are very interested to, kind of like understand a little bit more how to actually train our minds to be millionaires, right?
Yeah. So the question that actually, although it's so simple, many of us subconsciously are actually saying no to this question. Is money important to you? Think about it. Many families are very scared to discuss money issues.
Yep, that's right? Actually very true. That's very, very true. And I think it's actually, especially more, I think, in the Asian context, right? Where talking about money has never been a practice in families, Like when I was growing up, money is never something that, my parents would teach me what to do, how to manage it, or, but the only thing that you always hear from my grandma or even from my mom is save money, save money. But we don't actually understand the how, isn't it? Or why we need to save money. You know what I mean? So I think this is actually a very important topic that we really, really need to address today. Hopefully.
Yeah. And the best part is recently, when we look at how money affects us, on Instagram, there's been a new account called the Malaysian Pay Gap. It's an account that is talking about how Malaysians today in different types of careers are being paid, and it's being shared quite virally among the youths in Malaysia.
Right.
And I guess the pain point that's touching them is they feel like they're not being paid enough. So you see how money is affecting people at work, because when you're not paid enough, you don't feel the joy of doing your job, because you're like, I feel like I deserve more.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
and even
true.
In NST, in 2019, they did an article saying that half of divorce rates that happen in Malaysia is due to financial situations.
That's very, very true. And I think in 2020 itself, with the pandemic at hand, right? more than 50% of Malaysians actually filed for divorce, which was very shocking, alarming amount of, divorce cases happening because of money issues, okay,
Yes.
predominantly. So I think this is actually a problem, I would say, amongst most of us. Most of us, we don't know what exactly we need to do in order to make sure that, money is actually in place, the relationships that we have, with the loved ones that we have is actually still well and good. Okay, so I think one of the greatest things that I've actually learned from, speaking to many of my married clients, right, is that they don't actually talk about money. They don't actually, have very clear idea who pays for what. So I'll give you an example, right? Like you always thought that in a family, that both the husband and wife would be very clear in terms of who pays for certain expenses. Like for example, who pays for the water bill, the electricity bills, or, the assessments, the house assessments and stuff, right? But apparently it's a gray line. So whoever picks up, this particular bill will actually, just settle it, apparently so. But if you think about it in the long run, if the person keeps on burdening themselves by paying all these bills, it will come to a time where you feel that I've kind of like lost balance now. If I lost my job yesterday, then how am I going to pay the bills as per how I used to? So I think more and more families with double incomes, right, you really need to start having a very good conversation with your other half. And some of the things that, we share are common interests. What do we mean by common interests? For example, you have children. So when you want to send your kids to, like further education, tertiary education in the near future, right, you need to start talking about how much do we want to put aside to make that particular goal happen. Or one of the best things in life, if you think about it, is we eventually will retire one day, right? As a couple, in 20 years' time from now, how do you see your golden years happening? What kind of retirement do you really want? And these are things that you need to start speaking to each other early. Getting alignment is very important in any homes. Don't you agree, Rachel?
Yeah, actually, it is true. So, like, from what I'm getting from all of this is that money is something that is often seen as a taboo subject in many cases, relationships, families, marriages, all these things, But you see how it is negatively impacted us in a way, right? Because of not actually addressing these issues early at hand, right? So actually in this episode, we would actually like to encourage you to start taking a stand on managing your finances more seriously, because if you think about it, money gives you a lot of options.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. Money is not a bad thing because you get to decide how you want to use it at the end of the day, whether or not you want to make money a servant or you want to make money a master. That's in your hands.
Yeah.
But there's also consequences to it.
Yeah.
Right? That's for another episode. But for this particular episode, I would like to ask you, are you actually in charge of your finances? Are you telling money where to go, or is actually money telling you where to go?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
and I think that's actually a very powerful statement that you've just made just a while ago, because I think most of us, whether we are conscious or unconscious about it, we are most likely allowing money to tell us what to do with it. And what does this actually really mean? So let me just give you some examples. For those of you who love shopping, if you realize, and when you go out shopping, there is no cap as to what you can actually pick up and what you put into your basket, that is basically money, okay, telling you where to go. Okay, that's an indication already. Okay, or it could be, for example, you need to buy something, but how do we become a master to the money is by powerfully planning for things. So I'll give you an example. For example, if I, coming up soon would be Hari Raya, right? So if I need to plan for Hari Raya holidays and stuff, it starts by now. Means that I start consciously telling myself, I would like a holiday. I like to put aside, X number of money aside every month in order to make that holiday happen. That's where I take control. Okay, where my money is going, how am I spending the money, for example? Okay, instead of the other way whereby money is telling me where to go, bills need to be paid, I need to settle certain expenses that comes along the way by surprise. So you're not in control. So what happens, ladies, when you're not in control? It doesn't give us a very good feeling, isn't it? The insecurity comes in, right? It sets in, it makes us feel very guilty that, oh, I overspent, I should have actually, stuck to the budget and all this, right? So this is where you can powerfully, start thinking about this. Be a master to your money.
Actually, speaking of that as well, like, see, the saying goes that when is the best time to plant a tree? The answer is actually 20 years ago, because today the tree will be grown, fully grown, you have fruits, shade, all these things, right?
Exactly.
The second best time is to plant it today, because you are at the end of the day in charge of how your future turns out through in terms of finances, through your money management. So like even like with my clients, I always advise them, you have the choice of getting yourself medical insurance today. You don't have to. The government's not going to come after you and say, hey, you didn't get a medical card, you're going to go to jail. No, right? Nobody says that.
Yeah.
But if you don't take it up, there is consequences to it. In the event you do need medical treatment, you don't have many options, right? So that is how taking charge of the finances, although yes, it takes effort, it's not a fun thing to always look at, oh, I need to save this, I have to sacrifice buying this beautiful dress because I need to save towards my something that I want in the future. But that sacrifice is worth it, right?
Yeah, it's necessary in order to get ahead, I suppose. That's the key message. And I think this would be a very interesting analogy if you think about it in life, right? What in life comes easy to us? Practically nothing, right? Because the very first day as babies, when we were born, we have to make sure that, we learn to fall in order for us to get up again and to learn how to walk. If our parents had actually crippled us then by not allowing us to fall, then what would happen? We wouldn't be walking today, would we? Or running or, doing other things in life, because we were stuck thinking that, it's too much of a burden to get up in the first place to walk. Okay, so I think it's the same concept here. In order for us to get financially ahead, there really isn't any shortcuts. Okay, you really have to make sure that you make a conscious decision what you want to achieve in the near future and get it done today, so that you are planting the right seeds for the coming future, that you really want to have the retirement that you want, or you want to send your kids to the best university out there. All this starts by you planning your money today. Yeah.
And being the month of March, which is a month dedicated to us women, we'll see a lot of posts or encouragement on women empowerment and empowering ourselves, right? And one of the ways you can do that is by actually taking more closer attention to the way that you are currently managing your finances. If you are somebody that's maybe realizing that you are setting the same goal year in and year out, right? Or if you want a financial breakthrough, you got to decide first whether or not, what is it that you actually want in your finances? Because like Proctor was saying earlier, you can't just expect to be a millionaire because you're earning more. No, a millionaire is born because they plan to be a millionaire. That's how it comes. So if you want a breakthrough in your financial standings, your financial situation, why don't what we are doing, me and Pauline are actually doing this month, is we're giving out a free money personality test. Right? And it's a beginning step for all of you ladies out there to identify actually what is my money habits, what is how am I treating my finances at the moment.
Precisely. Right? And I think very powerfully, most of us, it's instead of putting the blame outside, to the environment out there, let's understand ourselves first. Okay, by going internal, you actually know very powerfully what kind of personality is driving your money habits. And then we'll be able to tell you very powerfully what you need to do in order to unlock that particular areas so that you can set you free from being a victim to money.
Yes, exactly. So maybe the one gift you can give yourself for this Women's Day is to sign up at the link in the description of this podcast to register yourself for a free test on knowing what is your money personality. It's completely free.
Yeah.
And it's a way of me and Pauline giving back towards the society during this month of women.
International Women's Week, right? So yes. So hopefully that helps the women out there, to empower yourself. This is as much as we can help you. You've got to help yourself.
Yes. So we wish you all the best in taking that first step. And we also want to wish you a happy Women's Day.
Definitely.
Always remember to care and take care of yourselves. Encourage yourself often, because self-love is the starting point of loving other people as well.
That's right. And I think very importantly as well, self-care is a must for all of us. Be gentle with yourself. Okay? By doing so, you will see wonderful things happening for you. Okay? Exactly. So that's all we have for you for this week. You take good care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next episode soon.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Okay.